Bring everybody in. There we go. Okay. Figured out the little tweak where the whole echo thing just goes crazy, and now I just turned it off. Perfect. Hi, everybody. My name is Patricio, and as always, I am joined by attorney Arent Morse. How you doing?
Oh, I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm a little wet right now and a little dark. Let me pull back a little bit because I'm like blending into my shirt.
Yeah. Do you need a ring light?
I do. I really do.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you one.
Oh man, where did this storm come from?
The sky.
A fair and valid answer because I was really. Oh man,
it's pouring here. So all of you who are in other areas, obviously wouldn't cover all of Florida, but we have this major downpour that's happening right now. So that's fun.
I'm literally pulling up the Doppler radar. Yeah, we're gonna be storming all day. That sucks.
Really?
Yeah, it's never fun when it rains. Well, I don't know. For me, when it rains, it's kind of like let's everyone just chill, relax, gather yourself, and then when the sun comes back out, come back out and have a good time. And honestly, part of me still likes going out and just running around in the rain. Am I alone on that one?
Yep. No, thank you.
Little attorney Morse likes it.
Someone just walked by and went, "Little attorney Morse doesn't like it."
He does like it.
The rain?
He likes running in it.
Oh, little Morse likes it. I thought you were calling me little since you already made that joke today.
How tall are you actually?
5.
Aw. Yeah. I was out of the office earlier for a client, and I had stopped. I told our office manager
we do home visits.
We do now that
necessary.
Everything's coming back to normal. We do come out to you if it's absolutely necessary. But as I was driving back from St. Cloud, I decided to stop off at one of my favorite little Spanish joints to get a great empanada.
Oh.
So out of all days, out of all places, at all times, I decided to go in, and I ran into my 4'11" ex at the restaurant, and I honestly thought like she got shorter, because when I looked at her, I'm like, no, you're beyond like the normal that I remember you at, or I've grown. But then I look at myself, I'm like, wait a second, my shoes do have a little bit of a heel.
Yeah.
So I was literally towering over her like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings to the
Yeah, I'm short. I don't know what that's like.
So, how have you been since last week?
Good. Same. It's busy as always. It's going well though. Courts are slowly opening up more and more, so we're getting more hearings. I feel like I'm at a point where I need to reschedule all of those hearings that got canceled. Yeah. So, I put the pressure on my staff to get them on the calendar. And
we're going as quickly as possible, making sure everything is done properly and according to the JAs, because sometimes they're mean to us.
Yeah, well, I honestly feel for them. It must be really overwhelming. They have a huge docket and amount of cases.
Oh, yeah.
So, Gabby and I have been trying to employ some new strategies, new legal tactics that are out there, that family practitioners don't usually use, but they're available under the rules of procedure to get things, summarily judged and dismissed, and, getting them resolved pretty expeditiously.
With everything that's been reopening, have you taken advantage of that, or still
in what way?
Like actually going out to a restaurant?
I went to Pier 1.
Okay.
I've been to a restaurant a few times, but I'm going to be honest, this is not fair for me to say, but I find it annoying.
Okay.
Just because, we're going, we're going to, really grinds my gears. We're going to restaurants, and sometimes they're like, oh, we're at capacity. And I almost feel like that's unfair for these restaurants who have been closed for so long. They really are turning business away. And then, I really have been making the decision to go out less because of this, max capacity. And we went out to eat somewhere. I'm going to have this place remain nameless, but we went out to eat somewhere, and 50% of the staff had gloves on and masks, right? So I hate that I'm this person, but
No.
I'm this person today. The fact that they're wearing gloves makes me feel like they're not washing their hands because nobody washes gloves.
No.
So you're going to go and touch all of my food and all of my things. Then you're going to go and touch all of your other customers and tables. And you don't wash your hands because you have gloves on.
And you're cross-contaminating with the gloves. No. Yeah.
It's disgusting if you think about it. Like, I don't know if they're washing the gloves. Like, that doesn't make sense. When your hands are out, I assume you wash your hands.
I've been to a couple of restaurants since everything started slowly reopening, and what I've seen a lot of is like they have the hand sanitizers all over the place. Like
you wouldn't sanitize gloves.
But you wouldn't. But with them serving your food, I lost my train of thought right there. I'm so sorry. Does that work?
Yeah.
Awesome. Because we got some good ones tonight, and I'm hoping that you'll pull that one out and give us some good legal advice. But no, the restaurants that I've been to, now that you say that, holy shit, wow.
They're not.
I never really actually paid attention to that.
So we went to this restaurant, and normally their food's really good. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because my husband is an exceptional cook, and when he's obviously been cooking more often, his food is really good. Or maybe I just really like the way he cooks, but I love his cooking. So we went out to this place that normally has really great food, or I remember them to have really great food, and I ate it and we were so disappointed. So I don't know if this is like getting back into this.
Well, I mean, I've seen the photos from what your husband cooks, and it looks amazing. And I'm super jealous of what you eat.
And I know he's white, but he uses seasoning.
Maybe it's your husband has increased your palate. And I mean, you get good food from restaurants, but when you get a home cooked meal, there's something to it that stands out than your normal.
And my son has always been the kind of child that loves just who he is. He loves having the home cooked meals. He would rather stay home. He's really akin to being a homebody. This situation hasn't been that tough as I'm sure some families are having it.
Yeah.
He really likes being home. He really likes his personal time. He likes to just hang out in his underwear. I call him Captain Underpants.
And some of us do on the weekends. And let's, you ready to jump into some questions?
I'm so ready. All
right, let's do this. First one coming in. Why is mediation so important? All I want to do is divorce my wife. Kids are, and she's going to get a huge chunk of my pension.
Well, mediation wouldn't be important if you agreed on everything immediately. So if someone agreed, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Okay, sorry. If someone has full agreement on something, we have a special procedure. This is our internal procedure on how we handle completely uncontested dissolutions, where let me be clear, at all times, I only represent one party, but where we will provide all of the forms. The blank forms would be to the other party, and prepare the matter of settlement agreement. Again, give advice only to the person that we represent, and we can get your whole divorce done without mediation. So mediation is important because there's a lot of statistics, and I don't know how accurate they are, so don't quote me on it. But that approximately 90% of all cases settle. And mediation plays a really big part in that, because that's your opportunity to sit in a room, have the chance to discuss your case, really discuss any flaws in your case or what you all expect would happen in a courtroom, and come to an agreement. And sometimes you get a temporary agreement, a partial agreement, a full agreement, or no agreement. But if you could even agree to some things, it's going to reduce the cost of litigation. It's going to reduce the amount of time you're in trial. There's also a lot of tactics to learning what their side of the story is, or what their perspective is, because you might think you know, but do you really? Y'all obviously disagree and didn't communicate well, and that's why you're divorcing. So also, mediation is important in Orange County because you are ordered to go. So if for no other reason, then you have a court order to go. Most other counties, if they don't have a standing, they go to mediation. The judge can immediately enter an order, or at the moment in which you try to set a hearing, they're going to go, oh, wait, I want you to go to mediation. So now I'm canceling your hearing and you have to go. So as a policy within our office, we just go to mediation first. We figure out, we make sure that we follow exactly what that judge wants. If they want the court order referring them to mediation, or we can get the other side just to agree to mediation, I tag that off first. I just make that happen. First of all, because you deserve that opportunity to settle. It's a lot less expensive. It's double the price for me to go to a temporary matters hearing.
Thank you so much for the question, and hopefully you do go through mediation and get settled properly.
Yes.
Let's get rid of that one. And I got to throw up a comment real quick because I think this one hits close to home for you.
Oh, no. Yeah, Buzzards Bay. I used to live there. Can only order takeout? That sounds really inconvenient. Going out to the restaurant, isn't that fun? Like I said, they're not washing their gloves. So maybe, that's how the coronavirus is going to spread.
By gloves?
Not washing their gloves. Feeding your food. They're touching their mouth and their face if they're not wearing a mask.
No. There's...
Oh, my other favorite is wearing a mask, but your nose being uncovered.
There was a meme that I saw where the lady had cut a hole in her mask just so she can breathe.
It's a life hack. Cut a hole in the mask.
I got to put the banner up like, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
So in your experience with mediation, and I'm sure you've done tons of them over the years, what's one of the oddest requests that you heard from opposing party ask in a mediation? Now, I know whether it's time sharing or child support, things like that, but what's like one of the oddest requests you've ever heard from opposing party in a mediation?
One of the oddest.
Yeah. Whether oddest, funniest, weirdest, something out of the ordinary.
Someone wanted to make sure it made it into their mediation agreement that their spouse would pay for their Invisalign. Invisalign.
I mean, hey, you gotta get your teeth fixed.
Yeah, there are some real petty, nuanced things with children, right? Sometimes there are, phone calls are a big deal for a lot of people. That one becomes really hard. And there are like two schools of thought. And I really hold a very strong opinion that everybody's unique family really determines how we handle these things. Like that's I feel that in my being. Everybody's unique family is what's a really important driver for how we handle these. But one of the strangest things that we have is like phone calls. Sometimes people really have a struggle with a phone call being over a 30-minute span. That one is really hard for people, and they're like, I just got to be around for 30 minutes. I'm like,
I mean, I kind of give up on a conversation after 20 minutes on the phone.
No, but it's not even that. It's like, well, I have to wait between 7 and 7:30 for him to make the phone call.
Oh, so like the window to call.
The window.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like what guidance do I give? And I try to say, hey, try your best. Maybe just, do you have maybe an iPad or another device that they could call on so that you don't have to be babysitting it, and maybe your child could answer the call. I don't know. Is
it frowned upon? Let's say either mother or father don't take it, like use the full time for the phone call. Like, let's say like a 5-minute call.
Let your child guide it. Whatever it is, it is. And a missed phone call's okay. And, because sometimes it becomes difficult because having that strong bond of speaking with your child every day is important. I'm not here to say that it's not. And especially where your time sharing isn't exactly 50-50, right? So keeping that bond is really, that's how you balance that out. So, but children don't want to stay on the phone for very long. My son is 8 and he talks a lot, but he doesn't say.
Really?
Connor?
He's always quiet when he's around us.
He's in my office. He listens. But and he doesn't have very long conversations. I'm often like, hey, call your grandfather or call, family members. And it's just not, he's like, yep, okay. And he loves them.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. They're not great. I don't know. It's a hard balance. Phone calls are weird. I had another weird one with, I should start writing these down. I need a book.
Oh, in regards to like scenarios or odd incidents at adherence?
I have a big issue on vaccines right now.
Yeah. That's a big one right now.
I have a case that's important, right? Because this client, he's a really good client. On vaccines, dad wants to vaccinate and mom doesn't.
And we can't say anything about that because there hasn't been a final decision yet.
I don't have a decision yet. So, but again, what's right for this particular family and these parents' parenting decision is what's right for these parents. That's kind of so did you see that we have a comment from Carlos?
We have a comment from Carlos?
Yeah, Reagan.
Let's put this one up. Hey, did you know the mayor of New York was tested for coronavirus? He was doing that to see if he had symptoms or not.
So, Carlos, this is a great comment. But the first sentence does not quite match the second sentence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a grammar troll. Did you know the mayor of New York was being tested for coronavirus? He was doing that to see if he had symptoms or not. So you don't test for symptoms, right? Symptoms are felt, but he's probably testing because are you saying that he's getting tested because he was having symptoms or because he wasn't? And I think that's important to mention because New York was a big hotspot for the coronavirus outbreak.
Oh, definitely.
So I did not see that he got tested for coronavirus, but I would not be surprised if he got it. How, with such a big outbreak, almost concerning, like, how could he not contract it? Like they had a pretty high.
They have, yeah.
From my understanding, they brought it here.
Conspiracy question right here. Do you think our president may have it or not? Because the man.
I don't know.
Every time that I see him on one of his speeches or wherever,
he's elderly. Don't forget.
He is elderly, but he's really not practicing like social distancing in any way, shape, or form.
But these are people that have been around him. They're in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
He lives there. What is he going to do? You're not going to wear a mask 24 hours a day. These people live and work there. He lives in a place that is also a workplace and is well traveled with a lot of people. Is it practical? I'm not here to defend the president for any other reason than like, what would I do if all these people were cycling in and out of my very home?
Mm-hmm.
They are all the people who have been around him. So this happened in a hearing of mine. A judge that I really like and really respect called me out for being next to Gabby.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I was like, we've quarantined together. I worked with Gabby the whole time. We saw each other 2 to 3 times a week. It just by the nature of our job and having been an essential, it wasn't. So I got called out on my lack of social distancing, at least in someone else's perception. When I explained what was going on.
Yeah, it's like you really can't be like shouting out cases, 6 feet from each other.
What? That's not confidential? What do you mean that breaches a client's confidentiality? That's the other thing. But Gabby and I had seen each other 2 to 3 times a week. He was showing his results on live TV or his symptoms.
He didn't get tested. Okay.
He didn't get tested because he doesn't have symptoms?
We're gonna I'm gonna have to
keep us updated, Carlos.
Yeah,
let us know. Pull if you could post a link to something about that, I would love to see it.
Yeah, let me
I bet New York New York.
Oh, definitely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw up the next question, and while you
Carlos,
spit some knowledge.
Help us out. If you got more news, keep it coming.
If you got some exactly, yeah. So I'm gonna put up the question, I'm gonna look it up at whatever I can find out.
Anyway, I wanna go back to this. I got accused of not practicing social distancing by somebody who I really care about and respect, and she is a great judge, and I like her a lot, and I have all good things to say about her. I practice in front of her very often. I was like, I swear to God, I'm following it. It just, Gabby and I had been working together, seeing each other 2 to 3 days a week. So from terms of quarantining together, we were her and I had been in quarantine. Also, my mom, who lives in my house, at least for now, until she moves into the house she just bought, and her fiance are both nurses.
Oh.
So we're also quarantining with people who are exposed with the coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
So, for at least Gabby and I having had that frequent quarantine, but I bet because we were sitting in the office, from the perception of the judge, we weren't social distancing. We weren't wearing a mask. We weren't it didn't seem as though we were engaged in safe practice.
Yeah.
But we were.
And I'm sure the judge didn't mean any offense.
No. She didn't. Once I explained it, she was like, "Oh, that makes sense." But you can kind of see the balance of the two things, in how we are trying to, trying to do both, trying to continue serving our clients and working. We are essential. It is necessary for us to continue to be in business and make sure that we're safe, because if Gabby and I both get sick, that's a problem, right? Our unavailability would wreak some havoc.
Oh, heck yeah. No, there'd be chaos all over the place. Oh,
yeah.
we're asleep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anytime I hear the word chaos, I always have to show my arm. But let's go on to the next question. My partner and I recently adopted. He and his ex-wife have a child together along with an established parenting plan. However, she's always trying to tell him what to do with our child. Any suggestions?
So let me get this straight. So facts are important in all of these scenarios. My partner and I recently adopted. That sounds to me like you recently adopted a child together, right?
Mm-hmm.
He and his ex-wife have a child together with a parenting plan.
Yeah.
However, okay, she is always telling him what to do with our child. Any suggestions? Ignore it. Don't let it get to you,
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion is the things during, your time sharing, you really don't have to engage in that. She can try to tell you what to do all she wants. You don't really have to listen within the confines of that parenting plan and shared parenting. So, do your best to be a good communicator and to engage in shared parenting, right? Hey, we have this appointment, we have this going on, Timmy's got a tummy ache, anything like that. But with your child. So not his child that he has. Okay. So
because this sounds like a same-sex marriage.
I don't know.
And
doesn't say.
From what I'm getting from this, it's either.
I don't read that.
But besides that, so I guess they adopted, but he has a child from a previous marriage,
mm-hmm.
And I get maybe when the kids are hanging out or when she sees her ex-husband.
So she's trying to impede on their parenting.
Yeah.
You could tell her where to go. That sounds like a mind your business.
And then we gotta make one of those for you, because we do actually get some questions right now where it's not more of a legal advice, but they're kind of wanting a little bit of counsel.
That's okay, because it's hard to know the line, right? There's a pretty frequent amount of circumstances where I'm like, there is no law on that.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends. There's no law on that. More on that later.
But all right, thanks so much for that question. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, tell her to buzz off. Yeah. we want to keep that boost.
All right, next one. In my parenting plan, I have decision-making authority over father. I want to move to New York because he's behind on child support and never available. Do I need to file a motion to relocate?
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Yes.
So even with in the final judgment on a dissolution, and they either parent having final say if they want to move, whether it's
that is not final say. That's not parenting decision.
Oh, okay.
So the difference is that relocating, even when you have ultimate decision-making authority, so you have ultimate decision-making authority to make decisions for the care of the child. Ultimate decision-making authority on decisions about school, on decisions about extracurricular activities, on decisions about medical care, if they should or shouldn't get braces, as an example, decision-making on if they should get vaccines. It's my little hot topic lately. And not decisions on if you can take the child away from their father or from their father, right? So you don't have the ability to decide if it's in the best interest of this minor child to be removed from their father and the frequency with which this father has time sharing. And for you to, so the other thing you have to remember is when you relocate, if he has every other weekend and you move to New York from Florida, how is he going to get every other weekend?
Fair. I mean, he's not going to be flying from here to New York.
Every other weekend?
No, that's impossible. I mean,
it's not practical. Mm-hmm. Is that best for the child also? No way. Because it would be after school. By the time you get to the airport, you're not going to get to the airport before 6 o'clock. You won't make a flight before 6 or 7, right?
No.
You're not going to you'll get down to Florida in 2.5 hours, 9.
Oh, well, you got to, the baggage, security, because they're never, I'm sorry, no knock on TSA, but it's a slow process. That's why you have to give yourself like the hour and a half to 2 hour window just to make it on time to your damn flight.
So your child no.
So you can't do it. You have to file motion to relocate,
or get an agreement. I can help you with that agreement too. If you guys have full agreement, you'll have to adjust your time sharing and other necessary elements of your parenting plan.
Give our office a call, 407-900-7451. Oh, man, I'm so glad because I would be going bananas with someone like trying to move out of state with my kids. I'm sure that happens all the time. And I honestly, God wouldn't know how to handle that situation.
Objection.
Yeah. Next question.
You would handle it by hiring me.
100%. My ex-wife and I have 2 kids and a dog. My ex-wife told me I had to take the kids and the dog on the weekends. Is it the law? Is it true that I have to take the dog also because I hate that dog?
If you put it in your parenting plan,
really?
You could agree to it.
But it wouldn't be
the law. It's property. The dog is property,
which we've established multiple times on previous episodes.
Pigs are property. The farm animals are property. The dog is property and is not one of the kids, no matter how much you love them. And they do not have to go back and forth. And so a decision should have been made on where that dog has to go. So if it's not addressed in your parenting plan or really your marital settlement agreement, it really wouldn't be in your parenting plan. It would be in the MSA that one person or the other gets them. I mean, you could be a total jerk and bring them to the pound. Would your kids be mad at you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerk.
I feel like they would tell mommy immediately.
Yeah.
100%.
But you got to find a way to say I ain't taking the dog. I ain't taking the dog.
Thank you so much.
Keep the dog.
The dog can't be that bad. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm an animal lover, so.
You don't know what kind of dog. There are a lot of dogs I see that I'm like, why are you walking your cat?
Thank you so much for the question. Next one we have, I have a spouse who is labeled as an international, and let's say a divorce takes place. What are my rights if she takes him overseas?
Taking who? A child?
So I had to break this one down because the grammar was horrible, but basically what the gentleman was asking, his wife is from China. Okay. I'm not going to ask if arrangements were made, things like that. But if they were to divorce,
yeah,
and she's trying to go out of the
country. I mean, it's so for the child. That we have a couple of questions. Was the child born in the United States?
Yes.
Okay. So assuming that the child was born in the United States, then you would need a passport. And typically, one parent can't take the children without the passport, like a signature on the passport. Does that mean she won't forge it? No. So, there's a document right now on the actual passport, right? Sorry, I wasn't clear about that. That was my fault. What are your rights? You are going to have to fight it in China. Likely, you would get a court order here, then you would try to go to China and get the same court order and bring your kids back.
Hopefully that answers his question right
Better yet, don't let them go.
Exactly. And hopefully it doesn't get to the point of divorce, but if it does, you know where to call.
She takes your kid to China. I hope it gets to the point of divorce. If they would do that.
You tell her a new one, huh?
Well, don't do that with the kids. That ain't right.
Yeah.
You're kidnapping. Your children need both parents. Jerk.
We got a funny one right here. My current divorce lawyer is on his 6th marriage. Should I trust him as a lawyer?
Yeah. He obviously knows how to divorce people. He's so confident he'll get married again. He's probably great. This guy knows.
that was a funny one that I'm like, I have this one.
That guy knows.
He knows his divorces.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Is one able to request a new guardian ad litem? Both my wife and I agree that she is batshit crazy. Would it hurt our case if we request a new one?
No.
So no.
Especially if you both agree.
Mm-hmm.
If you both agree, get that signed agreement to release her. Release the guardian ad litem.
In no way would it hurt their case.
No. Call around to a few of them to find out who you like and see if you both can agree on a good one. But if you guys are agreeing that the guardian ad litem is batshit crazy, do y'all think you could agree on a parenting plan?
Oh.
Did you just bridge a gap over there? That sounds. Did we just?
You just blew my mind right there.
Did we just become best friends? Right. So maybe if you know she's crazy and you disagree with all the things that she's saying, the two of you could come to some type of agreement on your parenting plan, because nobody knows what's best for your family as well as you might. Hear that if you have a guardian ad litem, maybe it's because one of you aren't making good decisions, but could you bridge that gap? Is there a possibility on that? Or maybe come to some stipulations. These are all the things we disagree with that the guardian ad litem said, right? She's been released. We don't care for her. Your Honor, now that we feel like we've had this experience with the guardian ad litem, we agreed to, A, B, C, D, E, and F, but H, I, J, we need some help with. Can you give us some guidance? And I've really had hearings where I've gone to court and we've said, hey, we're struggling with these. What is the court's typical guidance? Maybe not specific to these parties, but what are the things that you weigh, Your Honor, in figuring this out? Do you think that these set of circumstances would result? That's not binding. The judges don't have to do that. They can tell me to kick rocks, but some judges really are trying to encourage, we encourage shared parenting, and they will have that discussion with you on occasion. Judges, but since we know our judges, we know who to kind of check in with and say, hey, listen, they're struggling with X, Y, and Z.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for the question right there. Hopefully you do get a new guardian.
Your case wouldn't be hurt. They're a bad guardian ad litems, they're bad lawyers, they're a bad everything, right? No one's perfect. No profession is perfect. No group of people are perfect. So if this one isn't the right one for you and it's not working for your family, get her out.
Beautiful. Next one. If we share a Facebook page and we get divorced, who gets ownership of the Facebook page? Can I take his name off of it and remove his friends?
Why did you share a Facebook page?
Yeah, exactly. First of all, that's the main question. Why the hell would you have a shared Facebook page? Your thoughts on that one, Aaron?
Don't share a Facebook page. I think you probably both would be best to just delete that particular Facebook page and create a new one entirely. Both of you. Right?
Get out all your new friends and all this other stuff.
Yeah, maybe it'd be nice to have a little refresh on that.
I do a yearly purge right before New Year's Eve. I look over all of the Facebook people that I have, and
ain't nobody got time for that. I'll do that.
So, but let's say hypothetically, could a Facebook page be brought up as an item during a divorce?
Yes, but we would have to reduce it down to its dollar figure value.
Okay.
How would we do that? We'd need an expert.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth all that? Your expert's probably going to be $2,500 to $5,000.
I got a Facebook page.
Yeah, exactly. Unless the two of you could agree to the dollar figure value of the Facebook page. Mm-hmm. But again, how much do you want to pay a lawyer to argue this?
sometimes there are certain issues that aren't worth the argument, right? And this one right here, example, it's kind of silly. I mean, not to bring them down, but
delete it.
Delete it. Yeah. Thank you so much for the question. We got 4 more. We got a quick night tonight, and hopefully this rain lets out and we don't have to drive through it. Next one is, when our child support guidelines were established, I was making so much less. Recently, my ex-wife found out how much more I am currently making and is requesting more. Will I have to make retro pay?
From the date of the filing of the petition, yes.
From the date of the filing of the petition.
So if you were smart, you answer the petition and you call the attorney, hopefully. The attorney, you give them your pay. The attorney runs the child support guidelines. You take a look at them, see if they're legit, whatever. Maybe take that to an attorney and figure out what the amount of child support is that's correct. And if you agree with it, just start making those payments so you don't have any retroactive. That's how you thwart the system.
So he has to act on that quickly.
If he doesn't want the retro, he can wait for the retro. He'll pay back at 20%, but yeah, they'll be retroactive from the date of the petition, unless certain circumstances not relevant to this analysis.
So, and real quick, so let's say, for example, from when the child support guidelines were established, child support, started to get paid, little by little, he started making more and more and more after that. And now, wife finds out.
He'd be credited.
He would be credited.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Keep track of your receipts, but you will be credited.
So you wouldn't have to pay adjusted.
And if you're smart, you don't go through the legal process and you just start giving more money, something that seems fair to you and reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Don't be petty.
Petty's expensive.
It is.
You can be cheap or you can be petty, but you can't be both.
All right. Next one. What's one way I could pay the least amount of money?
Be a very supportive spouse and make sure that they become educated and capable of caring for themselves. How about support them through getting a career? How about taking on equal responsibility for the children? How about taking equal responsibility for the household? And supporting and encouraging your significant other to have a healthy career that helps them be put in a position to be supported.
Beautiful advice. Thank you so much on that one. We're down to our last 2. We're having a quick night tonight because, like I said, we
got some comments to deal with. We're gonna deal with those at the end. So listen, see if you guys can gunfire some comments, as many as you can, and I'll deal with the best ones.
Okay, we're gonna keep them. We got 2 more. Let's get these out of the way.
And I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna pick a winner for like my best one, and then I'm gonna give a reason why it's the best one.
Okay. I feel like I already know the answer to this one, but you're the attorney. You want to go ahead and read this one?
Gosh, what my name is. Yeah, there are lots of them. And if you do it, you're gonna have a lot of very negative consequences. This happened, and not in my situation. I'll tell you a story about one of my situation, but a funnier one that was in the news.
Okay.
There was a divorce happening in Canada. So not the same laws. I don't know the laws, but he got in trouble for this. And it was, my little legal news ticker that I have. So what he did was he hid a bunch of money. He hid like $3.4 million.
Holy shit.
In the backyard. Once his wife found out it was in the backyard, because he was like, ordered to pay it. Like, you can figure out, you can trace the money, right? It isn't that hard. People think it's hard. We can trace the money. We'll find a way, right? So he took this money, buried it in the backyard because he didn't want to give it to her. Then once he had his like 3rd level of contempt, he went to that backyard and lit the fire. Lit a fire to the money.
Oh my God, like Joker style.
Yeah.
Damn.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. That happened.
Jesus. And that's a crime on itself, because you're burnt. Well, I don't know how it is in Canada, because you can't destroy tender, right?
I don't know.
But here in the U.S., it's illegal to deface or destroy currency.
Oh.
So I don't know if that same law applies.
I imagine it would, but their money. Have you ever had Canadian money? It's plastic.
Is it real? Oh.
It looks like it's not real.
I found a couple Canadian quarters in my laundry.
It looks like toys. Like it looks like toy money. Like it doesn't. It's like purple and like it's very colorful and yeah, it looks like toys. Okay.
Thank you so much for the question. We get some comments.
So yes, big trouble. Big trouble.
Last one. Divorced 15 years ago. I found out years later that my husband is the one who secretly purchased the home using his mistress's name. Is that legal? His mistress and him live in our old house now.
Danielle, it doesn't matter whose name is on the car. If it was acquired during the term of the marriage, it is marital. Sorry, that was on the last topic. We are getting those rapid fire.
Oh, beautiful.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but we use a particular source that all of the places that we have this live streaming, which is like 3 or 4 places, all of the comments are funneled to us, including like our text message line. So we're getting like a bunch of them.
We're blowing up.
So, and also it's confidential on some of these, on some of these forums, the comments are confidential and no one can see them. So you found out that he secretly purchased a home using his mistress's name. So is his name on it? If his name is on it and he didn't disclose it, that's fraud. And you can go back and reopen the divorce because of fraud. If he used marital money, that would have been a dissipation claim. And there's a lot that would go into figuring that out. But if he like spent the money and it was during the marriage, like say it was in year 4 of the marriage, but you were married for 24 years. I mean, it really would have been pretty hard to go back that far. And at that point, it would kind of, you would have to have built a case on dissipation to get more money back. But if he was just paying portion of it, again, that dissipation is really the analysis. I would bring your case to an attorney to take for fraud potentially. So that's a good one. Do we have more? Do we have another question?
Let's jump into the I was about to say, we actually got some from YouTube as well.
I know, it's great.
We got a couple highs from YouTube.
Listen, this is my favorite, right?
From Mohammed?
No, this is my favorite comment. Dan the Knife Ferret. What happened if get divorced and you want the car, but it's not in your name? It still could be yours in equitable distribution. You'll have to sign it over to each other. The reason that this is my favorite comment is because you are Dan the Knife Ferret, and I don't understand why.
I just noticed his photo was a ferret.
Okay, mostly because this is a knife ferret who has a human name. So I don't know if you are the knife ferret because you use a ferret as a knife, or because a ferret uses a knife, or because there is a knife that is in the shape of a ferret.
Ooh, that is cool.
Or it's that you like both knives and ferrets and you are in fact a human. But you can tell us if you would so choose.
That really, I didn't even notice
I saw that and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna talk to him. This is a knife ferret. What?
But we did get a question from Facebook from Mohammed, and
I'm sorry, Mohammed.
My mother was tested positive for coronavirus. She is not coughing, but my doctor says she has other symptoms of coronavirus.
The best person to ask about this would definitely be the doctor. Although it is a Juris Doctor, my degree, I am not medical. And I honestly, I don't know. I think we are unfolding the symptoms of the coronavirus, and I hear in many people differently. If I had to guess from what the CDC says, and if that one special judge is watching, the CDC is the foremost authority. He's a judge I like, and he was like, the CDC, and he made a joke. It's because he's funny. That there's a lot. I would look at the CDC's website to really get the answer to that. because I think one of the problems that the CDC mentioned, right? I can't take this information as belonging to me, is that there are people who don't have symptoms at all. So I'm sorry that your mom tested positive. I'm sure that this is giving you an increasing amount of anxiety, and I really understand. But I think you probably are fortunate that they maybe have found it early enough, mom, that, you know, treatment and taking care of her, keeping her under medical watch is going to be beneficial in her circumstance. But good luck.
And he had a follow-up comment. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, yeah.
But his follow-up was, my mother was divorced because my father was fighting too much with my mother. But my mother wants to marry another man. Is it right to marry another man after your divorce?
Oh, yeah. You should. I actually believe that divorces are a positive thing for marriage, because you should not be with somebody who doesn't treat you well. And people should really be on notice that if I don't treat my significant other well, they're not going to stay with me, right? That's the incentive. I should be a good person because I don't get the love and benefit of this person to continue to be around me. They deserve to be treated well. So I believe that a reason to get out of an unhealthy marriage is so that at some point you could find someone to have a healthy marriage. I don't practice divorce law because I don't believe in marriage. It's really because I do. But I do believe in you standing up for yourself and not taking any of their crap.
Beautiful.
So best of luck to your mom, and I hope she has a wonderful, beautiful wedding.
Amen. We have another one from the Facebook. I don't know why I said it like that.
The Facebook. The Batman.
You want to read that one?
If my ex breaks our separation agreement, takes me off the insurance before the divorce is final, is the separation agreement still valid? Do I have to adhere to it concerning custody? No court custody is in place. Well, that's kind of like asking the question, if I signed an agreement, do I have to follow it? Well, I believe that your intention for signing the agreement would be that they're following it. And just because one person breaches the agreement, it doesn't mean that the other person can breach the agreement. So you truly should think of these agreements like they're actually construed under contract law. Might be getting a little in the weeds at this time, but I love what I do, and I'm a little bit of a nerd. So one of the things to think about is if you were to sign a contract with a company to paint your house, and part of the contract was that, you know, Patty's painting pals are going to, they're going,
PPP.
yeah,
You're the best.
yeah. They're going to paint your fence. They're going to paint your fence aqua blue, and they're going to paint your fence by July 3rd because you're having a party. Your expectation would be that they would complete all of that. Your part of the bargain is that, I don't know, you'll pay half up front and the other half once completed, right? So if you don't pay your half up front, right, that means that he then doesn't have to perform, okay? But if you pay your half up front and then he doesn't pay, right, so you do your part of the agreement,
yeah,
and then he doesn't paint your fence, or he paints half your fence, is it now not a valid agreement?
Oh, okay.
Of course it's a valid agreement. You have that agreement so that you can make him pay or do something, bring him to court, etc. So the same is true in marital settlement agreements. But there's no like, if you don't pay, then the agreement isn't there. So signing under force is a little bit different. You have a little bit of there's a burden of proof on so you say force, what the legal term of art is duress. There's going to be a lot to this, and I think that you need to set up a consultation because there's so much of this, right? There's so much on it depends, right? On what if it can be set aside, because there are certain terms of certain agreements that can be set aside. The court is required to make a best interest analysis on child custody arrangements, right? So parenting plans, whatever. So this is a really great question. And it's pretty in depth, and I really want to ask you a lot of questions, and I'm gonna have, there's too much confidentiality that I don't want to ask you a question, induce you to give some stuff that's confidential, but I want to dive into this, because now the fence painting analysis is related to equitable distribution type agreements, not children. The court has to make a determination on the best interest. So parenting plans, in some cases, not in all, could be set aside, or the nature of it being a separation agreement, maybe that it's temporary. It's going to depend on what it says, what its intentions are, and a couple of other factors. So you may have some wiggle room that probably isn't readily identifiable unless we can have the chance. I would love the chance to take a look at your agreement, sit down and talk line item by line item with you about all these things, and what the legal strategy would be if we need to change something related to the parenting plan, because stuff is stuff, but children are forever. Mm-hmm. So that's who we would take care of and help you out with that. So I wanted to,
we're getting some.
I know these are okay.
Which one you want me to click on?
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay.
We got a couple off-topic ones, which is okay.
Yeah.
Samantha Roman. At first, there's a European travel ban. Brazilian travel ban. I'll call Donnie and ask him. I have no idea. I don't know. Not my area. I feel like traveling is so strange right now. It's one of those things. Is it true that theme parks in Orlando? They are. They're starting to reopen. So City Walk and what's Disney's
City Walk
answer to City Walk?
The entrance to City Walk has been open. Some of their shops are open, restaurants as well. Universal, I believe, is June 6th. Disney and SeaWorld, I think, are a little bit later, but I know
Disney Springs is open.
Disney Springs is open, yes. But of course, limited capacity, using social distancing, all that good stuff. I'm honest. I'll be frank. I am not going to a theme park anytime soon. I'm not going to a theme park probably for the same reason that I'm not going to go to. I'm limiting how much I'm going to restaurants because of just all of these restrictions, and I find them to be not only difficult, but I think in some ways harmful to businesses. Or I have this intention of going out for the reason of going out to have dinner, and then I get there and I can't get in, and I'm like, well, let me not waste my time in my day. And if there's a limit on it, let me continue my social distancing from a bit further, and I'll wait until we have a better grasp on what our the new world is looking like, post-apocalyptic United States. It does feel post-apocalyptic because now this is the new normal. This is the way.
This is the way.
Where was it? Yeah, because I do have I have a lot of friends.
You too?
With Universal.
You're so
Disney.
special.
I have a lot of friends that work with Universal and Disney, and they're out for joy right now because they're finally going back.
I'm sure this has been hard on everybody.
Because Disney closed the weekend after St. Patrick's Day, right? I
think so, yeah. And I remember being like, Disney's closing? That's wild.
Oh, we got one from Sunny right there. So Disney is for sure. I'm a travel agent. Disney's shooting for July. I believe their parks masks are required.
Yeah.
And
can I cut a hole in the mask with that life hack? Just put it over everything except my nose, or just keep it on my chin. I like that one too.
And where was I going? Yeah, they're gonna have the Disney princess masks and character masks. That
I would be cool with it.
You'd be cool.
Or maybe it has the ears.
Ears on the mouth, or
on the mask, right outside the mask.
Or Mickey's smile.
Or it looks like it's Mickey Mouse talking.
Okay. Oh, or if you have your already put on the face mask to make it look more like Mickey.
You could be so many characters.
Oh my, wow. The possibilities are endless with that.
I want to cut for coming up with that.
Wow. I don't know about that Nathan comment. You saw that Nathan comment?
I want to talk to Samantha Roman. Something about, yeah, there you go.
There it is.
My boyfriend's job site was closed due to coronavirus, and he's having trouble paying the rent for the mortgage. How will he make that kind of money if his job site is closed?
Ooh.
Not my department.
I've worked in construction for.
You're asking me how he's going to make money. I do divorce and custody.
I will say from working in construction, have him reach out to his foreman, because usually foremans do have side projects that they're doing, you know, how would I say? I don't want to say off the books, but
that are outside of
they're outside of like the
regular projects
job site. And believe me, they have those contracts, and they're
all of this will come back in time. I mean, I don't know how to answer his concerns with his job right now. A lot of people are really struggling with this. It's hard.
Let's see who else. I understand. I spoke with a lawyer who said since the kids have
that's not true with that fact alone. Is Sunny, are you in Florida? Because that's not true at all, actually.
Sunny, yeah, are you from Florida? We would love to know.
Nathan Britt, hey, I live in Orlando too. When will I get a chance to meet you? Pay the consultation fee.
And I'm going to put that one up right there. Give us a call, 407-900-7451, for all your family needs.
Anything else from the texting service?
I am looking right now.
Double check that.
And no, it's pretty much silent at this point.
Bubbles aren't working well.
The bubbles aren't working? I always hated that. And you can't, you just add a little bit more soap and you're good to go with the bubble. Oh, there you go.
All right.
So, Aaron, what's grinded your gears this week?
It really grinds my gears. Oh my God, what has it? I get my gears are really grinded by I don't know how to say this. I need to make sure that I say it in a kind way because I mean it that way. I really am very passionate about children and children being well cared for. And what grinds my gears is seeing people who have, people who the unfortunate, Gabby just handed me the phrase I need to use. I got it. She's the best. Children who struggle, people who are experiencing abuse. I'm really passionate about them, really passionate about doing everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. And I want to empower my clients, right? So Gabby handed me a note that says disempowered victims. So, I had a client recently that I put him in a very, 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 this is a husband who has, is the victim of domestic violence and psychological and emotional abuse. And we put him in a position where he had an out. He got the house. We have time sharing. We had all the things, right? There was really very little issues left to resolve. And he took his ex back.
Oh man, really?
And this is an abuse of 35 to 40 years. I do understand, and my heart's broken because I feel like I helped him find a way, and kind of fell back into that gaslighting. So, I am the kind of person that will speak it very frankly to you and very honestly. So I got very stern with him and said, hey, this is what's going on. This is what your situation is like. I really don't want you to go back to this. And my guidance there was immediately like, I want you to speak to a counselor before you make this decision. Ultimately I'm gonna respect your wishes because that's my job. Mm-hmm. But I want you to have 3 counseling sessions before you make this decision as in its finality, right? Before we can do this, like, I want you to have 3 individual counseling sessions. If at the end of these individual counseling session and you review your book, right? Because I always have my clients keep a notebook to document what's been going on, to help them have an outlet for their feelings, and to help them have the opportunity that whenever they have a question, they write it down so that at 3 a.m. they're not thinking, oh my God, I should call my law office, right? Of course, we're all sleeping, but that's, the thing is you can't, if I'm in a courtroom, it's not practical for me to like hop on the phone to say, what do I do when he looked at me for too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it helps if you can have an outlet and have this notebook in kind of one place where you can just when you have a question and then leave a space so that you could write down the answer and kind of remind yourself of it. Because the emotional side of divorce, now I get it. I handle the legal side, right? I do the law side. I deal with the courtroom. I deal with the e-filing portal. I deal with the courts, and not really how the interpersonal relationships. As I try, I'm not capable of resolving them completely. No one really is. So I guide all of my clients to get some counseling. Even if the divorce seems to be going well, it's still a big life change, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, crazy. So, what my recommendation was, I want you to have 3 counseling sessions and talk through all of these things. Bring your notebook, talk through all of the things, remind yourself of the things that upset you and how you felt hurt and whatever. Get your divorce notebook. I should make one of those. The Morse divorce notebook.
The Morse you know.
The Morse you know. But yeah, it's it's hard. It's hard. So that grinds my gears.
That grinds your gears.
My heart broke for him. I saw the cycle repeat itself and I was like, no, I want it to be the change. Sometimes you feel
Yeah. We got this odd question right here. I don't know if we'll be able to answer it. Is it possible to move out from one place to another during the coronavirus?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the process of it right now.
That's right.
They would just.
Did you break up with the girlfriend?
Yes. Fine.
Brandon?
Oh, you're asking me.
Oh, self-important.
Sorry about that. Wow. I had a really funny grind my gears, but you went like.
I know. I got
emotional. Deep on that one.
I was heartbroken. I know. Sorry. I was like, no. So, listen, I understand. I seem fiery and careless and aggressive, but I do this because I care about it, because I like it.
It's your passion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you made a great career out of it.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone seen my commercials?
Actually, we have.
They're on the telly.
Tonight. Actually, tonight. Today's Thursday. Yeah.
Is it right now?
It's supposed to be coming right at the 7:24 Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching Jeopardy and you live here in Central Florida, you'll be able to see Aaron, the Law Office of Arent Morse commercial live during Jeopardy tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be watching it when I get to the gym in a little bit.
Nice.
Because I just went back yesterday, and oh holy crap, I'm out of shape. 2 months of not doing like my normal routines and like normal workouts.
Please don't make me talk about the gym.
And funny enough, and you've seen at gyms how they have the treadmills all lined up next to each other, right? Maybe. Yeah. You know what? I can do a watch party from my phone.
Nice.
And I can. Yeah, we're watching Jeopardy. I got you, Alex. I'll hit you up in a few. All right. Ooh.
Brandon, it won't be hard for you to find another girlfriend. But if you love, make sure you do everything you can to keep her.
Amen.
Do I call in? Yeah, call into Jeopardy.
I think she. Do you want?
You have a question, Catherine? You can just post it right there, or send us a text message at our main number, and that's private. 407 900 7451. I will literally get it on my watch. Or are you calling? I don't think our
I think we are. Are we okay with taking a live call as long as we don't go?
if she's comfortable with it, you're gonna have to ask her.
Yeah,
So
let me.
we deal with confidentiality, and they own the confidentiality.
Yeah, let me see.
But yeah, we'll talk to you.
Catherine, if you're okay with doing the live call.
Marcos, you got the phone?
No,
Okay.
it's 6:41.
Catherine, if you're totally okay with doing a quick call to us, go ahead and give the number on the screen a call right now. I'm sorry if we missed it right now, but go ahead and give us a call again, and we'll put you live on the air.
Oh, that was the call I was supposed to take.
Yeah.
I should have been warned.
We weren't sure, but yes, you could call right now if you want your question to be confidential. Or want me to answer it? I guess I could answer. I suppose it's not quite that confidential.
Yeah. We'll keep it simple.
Or if you want to talk right now, or if you would like to just set up a time, we will answer the phone right now. We don't usually answer after 5. Do we have our call service on?
Yeah, call service is on.
What happened to the sound?
Let me see. Our sound should be good.
Can you not hear me?
I'm checking out my live feed.
Brother, can you hear?
Yeah, I got sound.
Ooh.
Ooh. So, Catherine, if you want to give us a call right now, 407-900-7451. I will connect you right now with the attorney.
Yes.
We'll give it a few moments. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was literally having the Jeopardy theme play through my head right now.
Coming up in another hour.
Yeah, it's actually coming up in the next 41 minutes.
WFTV, right?
WFTV, Channel 9, Eyewitness News. Coverage you can count on. You're welcome, WFTV.
Yeah.
But thank you for playing our commercials.
They're great. They've actually been really great. All right. Well,
we tried. I mean,
so it won't be hard for me to have a boyfriend. I look so hot that I have more than one boyfriend to date.
wow.
You know, get it, Sonia. You tell him.
Congratulations, Sonia. I mean,
sounds legit.
Yeah.
Who's hot needs a boyfriend?
Oh, hello, everyone. I'm Mohammed El Bijou from Libya. I love your participation and enter with you directly. Thank you. I don't know. He loves my participation. Just let him have it.
So
how can I lay the foundation to show contempt over phone calls? It's gonna depend on what the contempt is and what the contempt is for. So contempt is you're gonna have to show that it was a willful violation of a court order, right? Knowing and willful, they're gonna have to know. I recommend making summary evidence. We do flat fee hearings and motions like that. So if you want us to help you out with that, to go through that with you, you can speak to us and we'll definitely help you out with that. But I recommend getting your phone logs if necessary, and having some type of summary evidence, because that's the most helpful. Any recommendation for resolving myself? Yes, my recommendation is not to do it, because modifications are very hard. You have a very high burden. You have to show that there is a substantial and unanticipated change in circumstances not contemplated at the time of the last final judgment, and that the change as requested is in the best interest of the minor child. Hello, Holly.
Hi, Eric. Wow, she just threw all the names in there, didn't she?
She might have almost tagged me. I don't
know. Marcos, anything new from Osceola County that we should know about?
Besides us having a huge budget shortfall due to not having sales tax because of Corona? No, we're okay. We have enough reserves for if a huge hurricane hits.
Enough reserves for like if the world ends tomorrow?
Oh no, not if the world ends. If the world ends, we're screwed. Like if Osceola County gets like beach city tomorrow, I don't think we'll have enough reserves for that.
Oh.
Marcus, what has grinded your gears this week?
Come on over here. It's awkward when you hear someone speak but cannot see them.
What's grinding my gears this week?
I love how your head fits perfectly into the MOR.
Sorry, hold on.
I did that intentionally.
Hold on. Laurel, if you want to have just a consultation where we look over the paperwork, I can give you some guidance. You don't have to hire. I will walk you through it. That's why we charge for the consultations, because we take the full amount of time and we give you all the goods on how to do it, because it is going to depend on what that petition says and if it's going to meet that very high burden. So a lot of times it's very hard to get a modification. For that reason, I think it's worth at least allowing us the opportunity to give you advice on that, on that specific, those specific set of facts that you have going on. That I'm sorry you're the respondent, and I have some suspicions about what certain modifications are like and how it's probably been otherwise difficult even on top of this circumstance. So let me extend that to you just on a person-to-person level. It's probably annoying. But that's the recommendation I can give, that we can, our consultation fee is $300, and we will look at your paperwork. I'll pull it up off the docket, or if you want to email it to us, and then we can sit down and go line by line and give you the advice, and you can let us know exactly what's going on.
Thank you so much for that. And
I can have someone, if you shoot us a text message at our main line, and we can call you so that we can set it up.
Boom, right there. Or if you're on your Facebook, since your little F is right there next to your face, click on our Facebook page and you can message us through our Facebook, and we'll establish a line of communication, get you going.
If she texts, I can set her up with a console right now.
Oh, even beautiful.
Yeah, Marcos will bump right over and get it done.
I really love how your head is right there in the O. Oh man. I think we're good. What do you think?
What grinds your gears?
Come on, Marcos, what grinds your gears this week?
Not enough oil?
Oh my God. We literally walked into that one.
Well, that was great. Good night, everybody.
Oh,
bad jokes.
And as always, the comments and views expressed here through the live Q&A of Aaron Morse are as is. I'm sorry, I usually have the waiver ready to go. I don't know where.
I don't know. Waiver inputted here. Have a great night.
Yeah.
It's not always perfect.
Y'all be safe. Take care.
Bye.